What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are talking about some Middle Eastern fragrances that were totally worth adding to the collection. I'm glad to have them, and I want to pass that recommendation along to you. Now, all of these can be found on Perfume Box's website, which are linked down below with a discount code. There's a variety of different brands, from Fragrance World to Paris Corner to Armaf, one of my all-time favorites from Armaf. They actually restocked really cheap recently, and I want to tell you about them. Obviously, you don't have to make any purchases to watch my videos. It's just there for convenience if you're interested in checking any of these out. But let's dive into these 10. Stay tuned. Starting with what I believe to be one of the best affordable releases of 2024, newer release from Afnan. We got Supremacy Collector's Edition. So this is definitely in the vein of Creed's Absolute Ventus, but instead of being loaded down with spices, they do have this white flowery accord in the heart that gives this slight creamy white floral feel, but doesn't really make it feminine in any way. Has all that fruitiness, the citrus, a bit of the spice and woods. It's a bit aromatic. It's a really good performer. It's a great everyday wear that can be found for a really good price in that mid-30s to 40 some odd dollar range from discounters in the link down below. I would definitely encourage checking this one out. It's kind of a happy medium between Supremacy Silver and Supremacy Not Only Intense, where Supremacy Silver is more like really trying to be Creed Ventus. Not Only Intense is a black currant oak moss bomb. While it's a monstrous performer, it's an acquired taste. Not everybody's going to feel the same way about it. I think it's amazing, but you may not. Whereas this kind of falls in between. It's a bit more well-rounded and just a great everyday wear. Again, from Afnan, this is Supremacy Collector's Edition. In most people's eyes, clone of the year for 2024, this made an impact. It got loads of hype, and it deserves it. Similar to Parfums de Marly Altair, honestly, it's a dead ringer. It's Fragrance World's French Avenue Liquid Brun. Liquid Brun, it just does the trick. Orange blossom, creamy vanilla, nice woody backbone here, a little bit of citrus at the top. Very delicious without being too much of a gourmand. Like, it doesn't make me want to snack as much as it makes me want to wear it. I have to say, there's very few clones out there that will make me say, just get the clone. This is my new example. My old main example used to be 9 p.m. from Afnan. Now it's Liquid Brun. It's pretty much a dead ringer. Like, you really can't go wrong here. Fragrance World has some hits. They have some misses. And in my opinion, this is probably their biggest hit. Performance is fantastic on this one. And it's super affordable. I don't know what's not to like about Liquid Brun. Now, this is one of that all-time personal favorite from Armaf that restocked for $24.98 is what I think I saw it for. Great, great price. Any of you Versace Man Eau Fresh fans, this is basically the Eau de Parfum version. This is called Aura Fresh. So it's a dead ringer in my opinion. I did a full review on this one years ago. It is a dead ringer for Versace Man Eau Fresh. It wears more like an EDP concentration where it sits a little bit close to the skin. It's not quite as bright. And I do get 2 to 3 hours more longevity out of this versus the original. This is actually a really, really good fragrance. Magnetic cap, but very weak. I would not try to pick it up from the cap. It's actually holding a little bit. Normally doesn't do that well. But that sour star fruit, that carambola note with the other citruses, nice musky, fresh, spicy, watery, aquatic. This is a beautiful fragrance. All-time great gym fragrance is Versace Man Eau Fresh. Just, if you want one of the best freshies of all time and you want the EDP concentration for 25 bucks, you might want to check this one out. It's Armaf's Aura Fresh. I recently reviewed this one from Ahmed Maghribi, and it's very similar to a more watermelon, more aquatic dominant Percival, kind of like the fierce legend DNA, if you will. This is called Kaaf. I do get a lot of nose fatigue from this one. Most people have told me this is a monster performer for them. I got about average performance, but it started off super, super, super strong, and I was pretty convinced my nose was fading to it. And most people in the comments, I did ask them to confirm, is that the issue? Is it a monster for you guys? And they pretty much all said, yeah, it's a monster. So I get serious nose fatigue with this one, but I can still smell it for the majority of the life of it. It just doesn't come across as potent to me personally as the wearer, because it beats up my nose. But if you like the legend, fierce DNA, Percival, and so on, this is a bit more of a fresher, fruity, aquatic twist on it, while undeniably similar with all the musk in the woods and just that overall DNA. This is really good stuff for the money. Again, that's Ahmed Maghribi. This is Kaaf. One of Paris Corner's best releases of last year. All three of the fragrances in this line are awesome, but the one that stands tall, in my opinion, would be Mawj Appletini. Appletini is supposed to be apple brandy on the rocks from Killian. I relate it mostly to apple pie with a shot of rum, meaning Boss Bottled Intense Eau de Parfum with booze. It's pretty much what apple brandy on the rocks smells like anyways. Above average performance. Not so much a gourmand, because I say apple pie and a drink mixed together, but it's this boozy, warm, spicy, fruity smell that's just super, super addictive. Not the best stuff for the warm weather, but in the milder to cold weather, man, this is good stuff. Daytime, nighttime, dinner time, casual, whatever. It's just really freaking good. It's Paris Corner's Appletini. Another one from Fragrance World that got some hype early last year, was hard to find for a while. It's starting to emerge again. It's in stock currently down in the link below. It is Fragrance World's French Avenue Aether, a pretty much dead ringer for Greenlee. The only difference I've come up with, now the first time I smelled it was on test strips and they were virtually identical. And then when I got it on skin versus the real deal, you can tell this is a cheaper cedar note. It has that cheaper, sharp, woody note to it. But aside from that, pretty much the same fragrance. Fruity green apple, fresh greens. It's not as soft of woods as the original, but still a great pickup. I've seen people tell me they get phenomenal beastly performance out of this one, where I get above average performance. Nothing to complain about. I don't get monstrous performance, but again, it could be a little bit of nose fatigue, and it actually performs even better than I even realized. We all go through it with different fragrances. You'd be surprised. We all have it to a certain extent with literally every fragrance we sniff on. This is a really good one. If you're looking for Greenlee on a budget, this has been and probably always will be until further notice the one I recommend. Again, that's Fragrance World's Aether. When gathering these fragrances last night, I actually ended up wearing this one last night. I sprayed it on my arm. The next thing you know, I gave myself 4 sprays around the neck. Kind of the Frankenstein blue fragrance of them all from Afnan. We got 9 a.m. Dive. This is a little bit of Bleu de Chanel, a little bit of YSLY, a little bit of Afternoon Swims, citrus. It's like a smorgasbord of blue fragrances, basically. I would relate it closest to Bleu de Chanel, but it's still not just like a Bleu de Chanel clone or anything like that. Really good, though. Above average performance, every bit of 8 hours in longevity. It's pretty stout without being a monster in projection and sillage. You can get this one for around $30-ish. This is a great blue fragrance for somebody that doesn't want to go the designer route and spend designer blue money. This is cheapy blue money with designer blue, maybe even a little bit better quality, because Afnan, they tend to use some decent oil quality here. And while this is no high-grade smelling fragrance, it's not as cheap and synthetic smelling as a lot of other fragrances in its category that actually cost around $20 to $30 more than it. So that's exactly what I mean. I figured I'd elaborate a little bit further. Really good stuff. Like I said, I ended up wearing it last night out of all these fragrances. It's Afnan's 9 a.m. Dive. This next one's a newer release from Lattafa. It's only been out a few months. It's similar to Le Beau Paradise Garden, though it does have the pineapple from Le Beau Le Parfum, but it dries into Paradise Garden. It is Lattafa's Najdia Intense. This fragrance is actually quite good. You get the fresh greens, that coconut water smell, that nice gingery brightness. It's a little bit of an earthy tone to it. Really, really good. Very tropical. Very springtime meets summertime. Garden full of greenery and such, into a little bit of a tropical feel with coconut and fruits. This is a really good fragrance. Another above average performer. I would not call this a beast, but this is definitely not a weak to average performer. This is above average in longevity, projection, sillage, all that good stuff. Nose fatigue will set in with this one if you spray this one up in front of you and let it linger under your nose. That one I can tell you from personal experience. And you may not. I do anyways. But if you're looking for the Le Beau DNA, more so Paradise Garden on a budget, this is a really good option. It's Lattafa's Najdia Intense. Now, when it comes to affordable tobacco vanille inspired fragrances, I kind of stopped after I got to this one, because I don't really need any more, because it just smells like a more affordable twist, the cheaper version, because the profile is pretty dead on. It's from Paris Corner, Charuto Tobacco Vanille in their Pandora Scents line. I don't wear it all that often because I'm not a huge tobacco vanille guy. When I'm in the mood for it, this does the trick. This scratches that itch, if you will. Curves the craving. It just gets stronger and stronger over time, too. Creamy vanilla, spiced woods. Man, you really can't go wrong here. Nice earthy tobacco accord to it. This is a monster performer, though, in my experience, and it's just getting stronger and stronger as time comes with it. Again, I don't wear this one all that much, but when in the mood for the DNA, this is my preferred choice. So if you're looking for a great affordable alternative, basically, or inspiration, I think would be the better word to use for Tobacco Vanille, this has always done the trick for me for, close to 3 years now. I have not found the need to explore any further. Again, from Paris Corner, Charuto Tobacco Vanille. And finally, another one from Ahmed Maghribi that I recently reviewed and was kind of surprised by. It has that synthetic, kind of medicinal, not real oud accord to it. Meets a blue fragrance. Citric, very versatile. Surprises me. It's called Blue Oud. Very fitting, right? It's a blue synthetic oud fragrance. It really named appropriately. I was very surprised first time I smelled it. It's actually quite enjoyable. Now, not going to be for everyone. That synthetic kind of sharp, sweet, medicinal, synthetic agarwood accord isn't for everyone. Sometimes it can come across as kind of a rotted wood smell or a little funky. Again, you got to know going into it that that's what you're getting into. Some people adore that kind of smell. Some people can't stand this kind of smell. I am the former, not the latter. I actually quite adore this smell. I find it's one you can pull off any time of year. Even in high heat, just dial back the sprays a little bit. I think you can totally pull this off. Again, you got to be used to that synthetic oud accord. It's not for everyone. That can be the off-putting note, but citrus is a little spiced and green. It's smoky. It's got a bit of a leathery feel to it. It's very, very woodsy. There's other woods besides the agarwood, like Gaiac wood, that nice smoky, woody accord added to it. A little bit of amber that doesn't warm it up a whole lot. This is a really good fragrance. I was very surprised. People have been asking me to explore more from the house. This was a good one to stumble across. From Ahmed Maghribi, this is Blue Oud. Well, that's the 10 in stock and available from Perfume Box down below. I appreciate Perfume Box. Some of these came from Perfume Box directly. Some I've collected from other places over the last couple of years. But I just happened to see they were all in stock, and I figured I'd let you guys know because this is an extremely popular topic here on the channel. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe before you leave. We'll see you on the next one.